Hey guys, it's Mark, back with my Mustang GT video. Not a juke video this time. I finally got her home. Let me try to keep the camera steady so everything comes in. But dude, I finally got like the car I wanted. It was going to be between this and the Camaro SS. You know what I mean? It was always going to end up being either the 5.0 GT or the 6.2 liter Camaro. She has Bembro 6 pistons on the front. It is the premium package that for the 2017 year, so I did get the black wheels, and I mean the back, they look like the fronts on my Juke. The size of the back ones, I'll probably eventually pull them off, and I'll spray paint the back ones up all black, nice and nice. And these Bembros, I might even get these turned into like yellow or red just to make them pop from out there. Right now they're silver, like a gray silver. But dude, that is a huge rotor on there. I mean, the braking is great in this car. This thing is nasty fast. I've already I took it the hard way home too. Like, we have an expressway near Atlantic City where I could have cruised at 60 the whole way. But I went down like the Black Horse Pike where we live, and I took it where like I knew I would have to downshift and upshift, downshift. I was going to be hitting a lot of red lights, a lot of stop and go traffic, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to get used to driving a stick again. You know what I mean? It's been a while since I've been in a stick shift. But I mean, it came right back to me. It's like riding a bike. It really is. I was even like, I get why they do the auto rev matching on these newer cars now. I never used to I was like, what are they talking about rev matching? Like, this car doesn't have it, but like, I get why they're doing it for like people who don't know how to drive a stick shift. It's to help them and make it easier for them so they don't burn their clutches up. But I mean, growing up, we always accepted the fact that like every 100,000 you needed a new clutch basically in your car. That's how it always was, especially if you were a young guy ripping around. I mean, shit, you probably needed a new clutch every 50 to 60K back then when we were growing up. And manuals were the shit. Like, when I was a kid, like, I'm 50 years old now, manual cars were the way we went because there was like, that was the least powertrain loss, was the manual. The old automatics from the 80s, they were so terrible. Like, you could have a 350 horsepower car and it would barely put 200 to the street because of the transfer case and the transmission loss. I mean, there's so much power loss. But these new dual clutch, wet clutch, whatever they are, dual clutch automatics, they're just unbeatable. Like, I went with the manual for a reason. I know everybody says the T82 manual is terrible, but it's not. It's just the bracket that they use to hold the shifter in place that's terrible. It is. It's the bracket. Once you replace that bracket, there's no, me myself so far, like, first day, honest to God, I haven't noticed the problem with the shifter. I like the throws. I get why people want short shifters. I get the whole point of them, but honestly, I'm just going to probably go with the Speedy, there's a new bracket that holds the shifter in place tighter, less sloppiness, and there's also an insert you put into the, it's like a torque mount. It's for the transmission mount. It's to help tighten it up. I did the same thing with my Juke, engine and transmission mounts too. I put like inserts in to tighten it up. It does make the ride feel a little rougher, but it's worth it. You get less twisting and turning in the transmission between the the motor and the transmission. But I mean, look at her, dude. Look at this car. I mean, and my camera, this phone, I know it's not going to do it any justice because the thing looks beautiful. Beautiful. It's called Lightning Blue. Yeah, it's got a few spots here and there. I got to take it to somebody, or I'm either going to take it to somebody or I'm going to sit here and spend the whole day just coating it with wax. I'm going to do all the black up nice. But everything looks brand new. Like I said, this car came with 8,909 miles when I first test drove it. I left the parking lot with 8,990 miles on it or something like that by the time I made it home. It still hasn't rolled over to 9K yet. It's, like I said, it is a 2017. I'm not expecting it to be absolutely brand new, but again, it's 9,000 miles on the car. And I've tried my hardest. I've went looking to find scratches. I mean, you can see some swirls here and there from when somebody washed it, but I'm trying to find a nick or a gash, and I can't find nothing. I am so pleased. I cannot believe I got the car I wanted in the color I wanted. It's like, I don't know. I just can't. It's like Christmas every day. Anyway, I'm going to end there. I'll come back in a week or so and let you guys know how I feel about the manual. I can tell you right now, I already love it. There's like one bracket that has to be replaced. It's underneath the car. It's a pain in the butt to get to. But there's a Ford in their infinite wisdom used this little sheet metal like looking piece of metal. I don't know. Sheet metal-ish looking. And it's like a U, and it like bolts and it actually holds the shifter in place. That's why on the like 2015s to 2018s they like feel a little sloppy, and even up to 2020 I think they have that issue. Like the T82 is not a bad transmission. The parts around it are what's bad about it. Like the bracket that holds it in place, the way that like the transmission mounts are there's just too much play in the shifter mount and the transmission mount. So that's why guys like have a little issue with these shifting from time to time. I mean, from what I've heard on the internet anyway. Like I blew through the gears, no problem. But you know, I could see how somebody would get nervous and in a jam miss a gear. You know what I mean? I downshifted into the wrong gear already. I mean, it happens. But once you know your car and you've been in it and you've been driving it a month, I mean, come on. I love manuals. Save the manuals. I might even try and get a hold of Fast Religion, Matt from Fast Religion, and see if he'd take me, you know, put it on his dyno, see if he's willing to dyno it. I mean, I don't want him to tune it, but I'd like to take it up there and maybe change out a couple lines. There's a few lines they say you're supposed to change out on these and put like a couple braided lines in. One's for the clutch, because they say if you track it, it can overheat or whatever, but this is never going to get tracked. And then that bracket that's like underneath the drive shaft, super hard to get to, he's got a lift, and just like, you know, a car ride to his house, a couple hours there, I know he could knock it out inside of like an hour of the work. It's really just like an hour of labor, but it's a pain in the butt if you don't have a lift, you know. And I'm not crawling and laying on my back and trying to do all that myself. I'm gonna find somebody with a lift, or somebody willing to let me use their lift or something, and then I don't know. If I gotta pay somebody $200 for a couple hours to put it in, then I will too. But anyway, I'm gonna, again, I was trying to end it. I'm gonna end it there for now, but look at her, dude. Brand new, beautiful. And this is what I wanted. It came with the vents to let the heat out on the hood. Try to keep the front of the car cool where the intake is. It's got a plastic cold air intake. I mean, honestly, I don't get why some of the guys actually change out unless they're going for a bigger intake. I don't know. I think the car companies, they got this stuff down to a science now, man. They can build a car on a computer and pretty much know what it's going to make, horsepower. They can come up with a design for an airbox for a car. And the only thing they say that you should do to your 2017 is switch the airbox from, if you can get your hands on a 2018 airbox, switch them out. because the 2018 is slightly bigger, and it'll allow you to make apparently more torque, a little more horsepower. So there's so many things you can do, man. I ain't gonna get into it, but you know what? Here's the part where I'm gonna end on. It feels fucking great to be on a real platform for a change. Like a platform, a real one where, and I ain't trying to smash, I ain't trying to knock the juke, but dude, this is a platform where there's multiple car companies within my state who tune and work on these cars. You know what I mean? It's not like there's only like 2 guys in the country who work, like that's how it was with the juke, honestly God. Like there's like, you're on the East Coast, you have a choice. You got, 2J down in Atlanta or Fast Religion up in Massachusetts. There's your choices. You know what I mean? And depending on where you live, you got to go to who's closest. That's what most people are going to do, But, I mean, with this, there's like people all over the place. There's, Mustangs, Camaros, whatever. As long as you're bringing in a high-end car, they'll work on it. That was always the problem with the Juke, the Nissan. It was looked at as a joke instead of a Juke. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a joke 0 to 60. It wasn't a joke at all 0 to 80. Because, it was just every bit as fast as a WRX. Once tuned, that thing was nasty. I still have it. I'll be driving it. That'll be my daily, and this will be my weekend car. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. It feels freaking great to be on a real platform where there's infinite ported intakes. You don't have to supercharge. You can supercharge. You can take a Boss 302 intake and throw it on. Like, it's the Coyote motor. That's the point of this video. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my God, I'm so happy, man. God, it's like Christmas, I swear. Anyway, take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your weekend and your lives. I'm going to try to do the same. Take care for now. I'll be back.